Your first Ramadan as a convert, it's transformative, challenging, and beautiful. It's a time of discovery, a journey that blends the profound spirituality of fasting with the unique culture and identity each convert brings. Today, we're sharing powerful stories from Latino Muslim converts, highlighting their resilience, faith, and cultural pride. Their experiences are deeply personal, yet they resonate with themes we can all relate to: perseverance, community, and the universal joy of connecting with Allah during the blessed month of Ramadan. The first Ramadan as a convert is one of the most profound milestones in a Muslim's journey. For Latino Muslims, it's not just about fasting, it's about blending faith with culture, overcoming challenges, and finding a new spiritual community. In this video, we'll hear inspiring Ramadan testimonies from Latino converts across the United States, each with a unique story of faith and resilience. These stories celebrate the beautiful diversity of the Latino Muslim experience and the universal power of Ramadan. Carlos from Astoria, Queens. Growing up as a Mexican American in Astoria, Queens family meals were everything. Food was how we expressed love and connection, so fasting during my first Ramadan was a big adjustment. My parents couldn't quite wrap their heads around why I'd chosen to abstain from eating and drinking all day. They'd say, "Well, Carlos, mijo, this isn't our tradition." But as Ramadan went on, I noticed something incredible happening. Every evening when I broke my fast at the masjid, it felt like my soul was being recharged. I brought tamales and horchata to the communal iftars, and to my surprise, they were a hit. It was a reminder that my culture and my faith didn't have to compete. They complemented one another. Ramadan taught me patience, not just with myself, but with my family. By the end of the month, my parents even started asking questions about Islam, and it opened up a whole new level of understanding between us. Ramadan wasn't just transformative for me, it began transforming my family's perspective too. Sofia from Chicago, Illinois. In Chicago, family gatherings are at the heart of our Puerto Rican culture. My first Ramadan felt lonely at first. I was the only Muslim in my household, and my family struggled to understand why I was fasting. They'd ask, "Why are you doing this? Are you sure it's healthy?" I'd try my best to explain, but sometimes I felt like I was on my own. Then I found my local masjid. Walking in, I was nervous. I didn't know if I'd fit in, but the community welcomed me with open arms. Iftar felt so warm and joyful, with people bringing dishes from all over the world. I even introduced them to arroz con gandules, and seeing everyone enjoy it made me feel so proud of my heritage. Taraweeh prayers became my escape. The sound of the Quran being recited filled my heart with peace, and I'd leave the masjid every night feeling lighter, like I was truly connecting with Allah. By the end of Ramadan, my family started noticing how much calmer and happier I was, and it opened the door for deeper conversations about my faith. Ramadan helped me realize that even though the journey can be lonely at times, Allah always provides the support we need, often in the most unexpected ways. Yulissa from Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. I grew up in Santo Domingo, where community and celebration are at the heart of Dominican culture. When I embraced Islam and approached my first Ramadan, I felt both anticipation and uncertainty. It was a completely new experience, but I knew I wanted to commit fully to this beautiful journey of fasting and reflection. My first challenge was explaining Ramadan to my family. They couldn't understand why I would willingly go all day without food or water, especially in the heat. But I was determined to show them that this wasn't about deprivation, it was about spiritual renewal. I invited my family to an iftar I prepared. I combined traditional Dominican dishes like mango and pastelon with the dates and foods I had learned were traditional for breaking the fast. They were amazed by the balance of old and new. At the masjid, I found a sense of belonging that I hadn't expected. People I had never met before greeted me like a sister, and every night at Taraweeh prayers, I felt a deep connection to Allah. Ramadan taught me discipline, but it also taught me that faith is something that can be shared and celebrated in so many beautiful ways. It became a turning point not just in my spiritual life, but in how I understood community and culture. Now, before we continue with more inspiring stories, let's take a quick moment. If you're loving these heartfelt Ramadan experiences, don't forget to show your support. Like this video, leave a comment, and hit that subscribe button. And if you know someone who would be moved by these stories, go ahead and share it with them too. Your support helps us spread these powerful messages far and wide. Thank you. Also, let me share something I absolutely love for breaking fast during Ramadan. Julie's Organic Whole. Medjool dates are fresh, naturally sweet, and packed with nutrients, a delicious way to refuel after fasting. Whether you enjoy them on their own, stuffed with nut butter, or in Eid desserts, they're perfect for this special month. If you're interested, check the link in the description below to grab yours. Supporting products like this also helps support the channel. Now let's get back to more inspiring stories. Marcela from Buenos Aires, Argentina. I grew up in Buenos Aires where passion and tradition are a way of life. My family is deeply Catholic, so when I embraced Islam, it was a big shift, for me and for them. My first Ramadan was one of the most humbling and transformative experiences of my life. Fasting for the first time was both daunting and exhilarating. I remember the hunger pangs during those early days, but also the moments of clarity and peace that came with pushing through. I used to think fasting would isolate me, but it actually brought me closer to the people around me. I found joy in introducing my family to Ramadan traditions. I prepared media lunas, Argentinian pastries, to break fast alongside the traditional dates, and it created a bridge of understanding. At the masjid, I met a group of women who supported me through every step. They encouraged me to attend Iftar gatherings, where I learned the deeper meanings of Ramadan and felt part of a broader community for the first time. Ramadan taught me that embracing Islam didn't mean losing my roots. It meant enriching them with faith and purpose. It became a chapter in my life that showed me the beauty of blending worlds, and I felt closer to Allah than ever before. Jorge from Cuenca, Ecuador. In Cuenca, where I was born and raised, family traditions run deep. When I embraced Islam, I worried how Ramadan would fit into my life and whether my family would accept the changes. My first Ramadan, however, turned into a time of discovery, both spiritually and culturally. I was nervous about fasting at first. The long hours without food or water were intimidating, but something within me felt invigorated by the challenge. My mother was the first to ask questions about Ramadan, and as I explained the purpose behind fasting, she grew curious. I decided to involve my family by preparing an iftar meal. I cooked locro de papas, a traditional Ecuadorian potato soup, and paired it with dates and other Ramadan foods. It created a bridge between my old and new worlds, and that evening I saw the beginnings of acceptance and understanding in my family. The masjid became my refuge during Ramadan. Every night as I stood in Taraweeh prayers with people from all walks of life, I felt a unity I had never experienced before. Ramadan wasn't just about abstaining from food, it was about nourishing my soul and building resilience. By the end of the month, I realized that my faith had deepened in ways I couldn't have imagined, and I felt an overwhelming gratitude to Allah for guiding me to this path. Elena from Jackson Heights, Queens. I grew up in Colombia, where Lent was a time of reflection and abstinence. So when I embraced Islam and began fasting during Ramadan, it felt both familiar and brand new. Now that I live in Jackson Heights, Queens, a melting pot of cultures, I saw Ramadan as an opportunity to share my faith and heritage. My first Ramadan was a mix of emotions. I was nervous about fasting from sunrise to sunset, but I was also excited to explore this new chapter of my life. I invited my friends, some Muslims, some not, to join me for Iftar one evening. I served empanadas alongside dates, and we talked about what Ramadan means. It became this beautiful moment of connection, where faith and culture came together effortlessly. At the masjid, I found a community that made me feel at home. The sisters there taught me so much, from how to pace myself during fasting to the beauty of Taraweeh prayers. Ramadan taught me gratitude, not just for the food we break our fast with, but for the relationships we build along the way. It deepened my faith and strengthened my sense of purpose. Mateo from Los Angeles, California. As a Salvadoran living in Los Angeles, fasting during my first Ramadan felt like stepping into uncharted territory. At first, it was overwhelming waking up for suhoor, spending the whole day without food or water, and trying to balance work and worship. But something about it also felt deeply familiar. In El Salvador, we practiced sacrifice during religious holidays, so I knew the discipline required. The turning point for me came when I invited my family to join me for Iftar. I made pupusas, and as we sat down to eat, I explained what Ramadan was all about. Seeing their curiosity and support was incredibly heartwarming. At the masjid, I found a brotherhood that kept me going. We'd break our fast together, pray, and share stories about our journeys to Islam. Ramadan taught me resilience, not just in fasting, but in how I approached challenges in every aspect of my life. By the end of the month, I felt like a new person, more grounded and connected to Allah than ever before. These stories remind us that Ramadan is more than fasting. It's a transformative journey of faith, resilience, and cultural celebration. For Latino Muslims, it's about blending who we are with who we're becoming. If you're a convert or know someone who is, share this video. Your journey might inspire someone else. Ramadan is a time for all of us to grow, reflect, and connect. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more uplifting content. May Allah bless us all.